Hey guys, it's been probably years since I recorded a video, but I try to get my point across in things like Facebook and stuff to like do little narratives and things like that, but if I even use the word conservative, or I actually got put in Facebook jail for the definition of socialism, so I kind of stopped doing that because they're not going to let me apparently give my opinion on anything if it has any of those, I guess, hot words. So I decided to do video, and I'm hoping kind of people see it and understand kind of where the whole immigration thing maybe comes from, on the point of like make it a smaller scale. I think I'm a compassionate person, and I care about the plights of others. I've, given when I don't have much to give, because there are those who've given to me and helped me in my life. I have quite a few kids. I'm not on food stamps or anything. I work really hard. I actually don't. She's probably seen where I work. I don't want to get fired for saying something. But one of the things is, okay, they say that the immigrants, they don't have this and they don't have that when they're at the detention centers. And they weren't made to hold the thousands of people who are showing up. Say 10 people showed up at your house, and you had in your fridge enough food for, 2 people, husband and wife, whatever. And 10 people showed up, and they were just starving, and you didn't have nothing. Well, you could take what you had in the fridge, and you could probably divide that up between the 10 people. You wouldn't let someone starve on your porch. That's just horrible. So you did what you could to divide that, to at least, have them full and stuff. And here comes 10 more people. And you're like, oh my God, I've given everything I had to these 10 people. What am I going to do? You're not going to be able to do anything. And they could be at death starving on your front porch. And if you have nothing left to give, because you gave to those 10, you're screwed. Okay, so then what do you got to do? Well, you got to wait till payday. Okay, so now I got 20 people I got to feed on payday. So I'm going to buy rice and potatoes, cheap stuff. You're not going to go feed these 20 people steaks or hamburger, because hamburger is expensive too. So then payday comes, and you get the rice and you get the potatoes and stuff. So okay, now I can feed these 20 people. No one's going to die on my porch. Here comes 40 people, and you're like, what am I going to do? Your neighbors won't help. There's no assistance for you, because you got to wait till next payday. So you're going to have to divide that up even more, and you feel horrible. You might go without, but if you have nothing left to give, you can't make that go any further. You're going to have to tell them no, and it feels awful, and you just don't know what to do, but you're doing what you can for those that you do have. And that's the immigration situation we have here. We've budgeted this money, said, here you go. This is what you have for 20,000 people who are going to show up at the border, try to get in. You're like, okay, we got this. Double that showed up. And you're like, okay, so we're going to have to divide it even more, because this is all we have. And then here comes 100,000 more. Now, the simple fix for that is, and it's a sad thing to have to do, but you have to tell them no. You're going to have to shut the borders down, because we don't have any more to give. Now, while you're feeding these 20 people who had showed up at your house, you also have your family. You cannot starve to death and die to feed these people, feed the extras, because who's going to feed the ones you already got? There is not an unlimited source of money in America. We do have rich people, but they work to get rich. I work to stay food stamps and to not get government assistance, and I work really hard. And it wouldn't be fair for me to work that hard and have to put my family in a situation where they don't have what they need. It's just not fair to do. And there has to be more options. You have to work. You have to, if you're going to show up to a country, you're going to have to be prepared to do that. Now, I'm not saying, oh, well, they show up and they're on their own. That's what is that, FICA is for? It's for to help people in this country, and I don't mind some of it going to another country. Now, if you're like, I don't care about the immigrants and this and that, I kind of want to say friend, but she's more an acquaintance because she doesn't speak English. She's been in this country for 22 years, doesn't speak the language. She works for a place that is absolutely taking advantage of her. She does the best she can. She's a very hard worker. I know that. And she is a good person. And she should be making at least minimum wage, and she's not. So that's part of what happens when you have the illegal immigration, is people here are taking advantage of them. And they can't get the help that they need. So what we need to do, we need to close the border. And it's a sad thing to do when there's people who need help and you don't want to see them suffer. But we have to do that to take care of the ones that are here. And not just our own people, the immigrants that are here, that are being taken advantage of, and the ones who can't get regular jobs because they're hiding. And if they're criminals, we don't need them either. We don't want them on the streets. So just send them home, then we don't have to overload the prisons. It sounds like a harsh thing to do, but you have to do it in order to survive. You can't kill yourself to help someone else. We've got enough on our plate. Charity starts at home. We just got to think about doing the right thing. Everything cannot be emotional, an emotional decision. It is super sad. I come from a family of immigrants, so it's just awful. And on another point, that is absolutely ridiculous to call them places concentration camps. My family was from Poland. My babcia and jaja were in a real concentration camp. And the horror stories and the awful things that happened to them. For you to refer to something like the detention center, which is supposed to be to give help, that's where we're trying the best we can, to call them a concentration camp is absolutely and utterly disrespectful to the things that my grandparents went through. I know you just want to throw a horrible word out there, Miss AOC, and you want to make it seem like it's just this god-awful thing, but you have to think about what you're doing to others. It's terrible. It's terrible for you to be so blind and so naive to throw a word out there that has a lot of meaning to others. You need to apologize. It was absolutely disrespectful. You really do. You need to apologize. Shame on you. And think about the things that you're saying. All of you need to think about, other than yourself or your agenda, you have to have some common sense. And that's all I got to say about that. Thanks.